I'm here at the Brand Innovators Fall 2023 Media Innovation Summit. I'm Kenley Bradstreet, Head of Brand Partnerships at Quizlet.
And I am LeAnne Armstead, E-commerce Brand Marketing Manager for Kroger.
Okay, great. And I am super interested in what you're doing at Kroger, where you're specifically focused on e-commerce, i.e.
Yes.
Online grocery.
Yes. We're working on some really exciting things at Kroger, kind of thinking through how shopping in general has changed since the pandemic. We saw a lot of people focus in on contactless grocery delivery, whether that's like pickup, so you order groceries online and you go to the store and pick it up, or Kroger delivery, which is you order groceries online and it's delivered to your house. And we have modalities that we work closely with our Seamless experience, which is with Instacart. And specifically what I work on is Kroger delivery in markets that don't have a store. So in markets that, don't have a store within 90 miles. And we use refrigerated truck delivery to deliver groceries to customers in those areas. And so we launched in Orlando, Florida in 2021, right? Kind of when the pandemic was still happening, but moving towards a different phase of it. But we still saw shopping behavior of people wanting contactless delivery and people who had traditionally been more engaged using Kroger delivery. And so we set up fulfillment centers through our partner Ocado in Orlando, Tampa, and Jacksonville.
It is wild, and yes, totally me. Like during the pandemic, going full, I was doing like the click and collect.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm not sure if I ever would have gotten into that otherwise. And I actually have not been doing that lately, and I'm now wondering why, because that it is so much easier and so much better.
And that's fair, because we are seeing people kind of go back to some of their routines, but still leaning into digital. Like people have tried it during the pandemic. They still kind of want to go into store because they still believe in a lot of that like personal assessment of quality. I mean, we offer quality through Kroger delivery pickup or any modality, but we understand that customers still have that yearn to go in store, which is why we do have areas where there is Kroger delivery offer, but also in stores. So we totally see people kind of going back to their shopping behavior going in store, but a lot of people are doing both. They're using Kroger delivery for their big stock up trips, and then they're using going in store for kind of those like micro trips that they're kind of doing like in between those stock up trips.
Gotcha. And I know like for me personally, like the produce basically is the big thing that like you're a little bit nervous about with delivery. Yeah. So do you see, well, two parts to the question. One, do you see people doing more not produce in delivery, and then also like, is that a big part of your like messaging strategy to make people like me comfortable about their produce delivery?
Yeah, a big part of our messaging is letting customers know that your groceries will be delivered fresh to you, because we have the refrigerated trucks, because there are places of the truck that keep your groceries at the right temperature. So if they need to be at room temperature, the truck will keep it at room temperature. If they need to be a little bit cooler, there are compartments in the truck that will keep it cooler. So a part of our, making people feel comfortable with like getting fresh groceries delivered is explaining like how the refrigeration works, which is like a really big part of some of the marketing that we're sharing, just to have the customer be informed. And then some of the technology that we're using in the fulfillment centers, like we're using, algorithmic, technology the size of like dishwashers that like cross glide to like make sure we're picking and packing the groceries at the right time, at the right shape. But all of those sciences are kind of going into how the grocery. So we like to, through like some of our messaging with like, the media, talk about like how the fulfillment center is like working to make your deliveries more seamless, but then also like in the marketing really explaining to keep your groceries. And we do understand that customers like to feel and like to touch, but it's kind of like building that trust that refrigerated delivery will deliver your groceries just as fresh as going into the store and picking it yourself. So we just have a lot of options for customers.
Yeah, you keep like totally convincing me that I should be doing
I know, that's the goal, getting you as a customer.
Like, yes, I'm in. But it is kind of crazy. You're saying you're opening delivery to new markets that don't even have a store. So tell me a little bit about that. I assume a pretty big challenge to kind of introduce people to a new brand and also a new way of doing a huge life task.
Yeah, I'll start with like a lot of research and preparation work went into launching in Florida. I mean, it was years in the making that we were doing research to understand the customers in that market and their customer needs and those jobs that they need us to do, whether it's, you know, time savings or whether it's value, like being able to like communicate the reason to believe and then meet their needs. So a lot of research went into setting up, and then we also looked at research that could tell us a little bit about the brand awareness. So overall, many people know the Kroger brand. Wherever you live, if there's a Kroger near you, they're familiar with the brand, but it's really kind of helping the customer understand that you can order groceries online and then you get it delivered to you in a refrigerated truck. So it's that process of building awareness of Kroger delivery in a scene where like people know the Kroger brand, but they need to understand how it's being delivered a little bit more. And you do have some, you know, halo effect of a store and people understanding the brand a little bit more because they see the store. And so we're optimizing our refrigerated trucks to be able to like use as kind of a moving billboard to have people understand. So we like work really hard on our wraps. We work really hard on the branding of our wraps with our blue trucks. And that's one of the top like awareness tools that we're hearing customers see, like in Florida. Oh, I've seen your blue truck. So all of these different types of marketing, whether it be like out of home with moving billboard or TV commercials through connected TV and lower on the funnel, paid search and those marketing channels, we're using them to, you know, create a full funnel approach to like bringing awareness and acquisition to the Kroger delivery. So yeah.
Very cool. Tell me a little bit more about that then in that media mix. Like, how did you, you know, I guess initially like come up with that strategy, and then like what have you been learning?
Yeah. So we knew that there was, you know, again, the challenge of building awareness of Kroger delivery. And so a lot of our awareness channels that we've seen in the past work is TV and those markets where we knew we could bring awareness through a 30 or 15 second video that could kind of bring to life more of like the introduction of the Kroger delivery brand, where you could see the trucks, you could see the drivers, you could see the truck driving through your neighborhood. So we understand that like, you know, television and streaming video is really important to bring to life that kind of like moving motion of helping to understand Kroger delivery. And then we think of like meeting customers where they are. We know customers are interacting on Facebook, so paid social has been a big part of our strategy. And surprisingly, direct mail, that one-to-one is really important to help us have a little bit more room to communicate the messages, to communicate the reasons to believe. So 1 hour time slots, professional drivers, refrigerated delivery on our own trucks. It's a lot to explain. It's a lot for a person to wrap their head around. And so when we think of the channels, we want to optimize the length of time and the format. So video, 30 to 15 seconds, and then also direct mail. So that one-to-one communication, but then also leveraging space to kind of tell that story. So that's kind of how we are continuing to think about like channels. We also leaned into influencers because we know meeting customers where they are, Instagram and social media, and that's a large part of how they've heard about the Kroger brand. It's, you know, working with influencers, micro influencers to macro influencers, about helping to tell that story, talking about the offer that we offer customers, our trial offer, $15 off, then also like helping to introduce like what Kroger is. So like images of them getting their groceries delivered and, you know, images of them with the driver, like those help to tell the story of meeting the customers where they are.
Got you. And in thinking about like the customer, I'd imagine you're thinking very digital, all digital, since it is something that somebody has to do online. Is that like, are you exclusively digital platforms?
Not exclusively digital platforms. Like I mentioned, like we do lean into print channels where possible. So we still feel that direct mail is a channel where we can, you know, message customers and message them one-to-one. But we are seeing a trend in moving to a more like digital focused marketing mix. And I think it makes sense because when we think of our customers, grocery enthusiasts, digital engaged, we again want to meet customers where they are, and a lot of them are already on digital platforms. So you'll see, a part of our marketing is like paid digital, so paid social display, streaming video, streaming audio, so the Pandoras of the world, the Spotifys of the world, like that's what customers are using. I'm sure, like your household, like Spotify's playing Pandora, and so that's where we're finding customers are, and it kind of makes sense. So we are moving to a more digital focused like marketing mix.
Gotcha. And audience-wise, do you have a focus like on Gen Z, really younger, or is it older? Are you trying to convert people who've been shopping for years in a real grocery store? Yeah,
we're finding that any customer is an opportunity for us. So like if we know that
everybody needs
we
food.
Can serve exactly everyone needs food. Everyone needs food for their family of all ages. So if we're finding that we can do your job for you, then we're open to any audiences. But we are seeing that Gen Xers are a big part of like who's shopping Kroger delivery. When we think of like the family makeup, 2 to 3 to 4 people in a household, 2 to 3, children in a household. Like we're finding that a lot of people are Gen Xers. There are, older cuspy Gen Xers to baby boomer Gen Xers, and the millennials is still an opportunity. I think across the board in every company, millennials and Gen Z continue to be an opportunity. And so we're finding ways that we can like leverage those channels that are typically targeted to millennials to be able to talk to millennials. But we are seeing a big population of Gen Xers. And grocery enthusiasts, people who might have tried Kroger maybe in another place, or tried some of our competitors. So
I have to imagine that if you live in Florida and you aren't used to shopping at a Kroger, that the audience most likely to get involved would be some people who have lived somewhere else near Kroger before.
Yeah, exactly. People who maybe have lived in another place, people who are traveling, those are a part of people who can experience Kroger. And again, people are familiar with the brand. So, people who are more familiar with the brand, who have heard it in other places, or who I know Kroger, and who see the blue truck and who see the commercial, all of those things kind of like put together a decision to try Kroger. So I would say people who are more familiar with the brand are probably one of the first people to like try Kroger as well.
Yeah, I'm also thinking right now, realizing that like my kids, or maybe like Gen Z now too, like they may skip the thing where they ever go to a grocery store, right?
Yeah.
Like they may live a life where they're just doing digital. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, in general, like we're finding through research that there's a lot of different share of stomach retailers. Like a lot of people and how they buy groceries are becoming non-traditional. Like some people are experiencing grocery shopping with like maybe DoorDash, with like Uber Eats, with, like people, we understand that people do want rapid delivery, people do want, so, we understand that there are different ways that people are purchasing groceries, and we have a, commitment to stay abreast of that. And so we are consistently working on like offerings and launches that provide that like either rapid delivery or provide where the customer needs the job to be done. So it's kind of our job as like Kroger to continue to think about how we can help the customer. So we do understand that it's an ever-changing landscape and people are getting their groceries, just shopping very differently.
Yeah, and I imagine, again, during the pandemic, like huge spike.
Yes.
And then I'd assume like a pretty big drop off then in online. So like, how do you see the trend of like getting people back into doing delivery, or is that the goal, or?
Yeah, I think all of those things are goals. I think getting people back into the store is a goal. Getting people to also like use Kroger delivery for trips, use pickup for trips. We have, again, like a broad offering that helps the customer for whatever their need state is. It could be a busy mom who's not able to make it to the store and she's leveraging Kroger delivery. He or she, whomever in the household is leveraging Kroger delivery. Or it could be someone who just wants a quick trip to the store after they leave soccer practice. So we understand that there's different, places and different jobs to be done as it relates to like what we need to offer about to the customer, how they get groceries. But we do understand that the landscape is continuing to change. So So yeah, so we're definitely considering all those things. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, thank you.
I love that. And and final question, coming up for next year, what are you most excited about for that? Like, are there new markets? Are there new challenges? I'm sure.
Yeah, thank you for asking the question. There are, in the future, the next 5 years, it will probably be continue growth in, the storeless geography. So really excited about that. And, just continuing to test and the research. I think the research is the part that excites me because really kind of understanding recall and awareness from all of our campaigns, understanding from brand lift studies, how, different channels are performing, really just continuing to test. We've had some exciting tests with Roku recently, so continuing to test in those areas. We worked with a partner called Undertone, which is a really exciting partner where we're testing P&I, so product and item, because we understand that customers and value is very important, especially important with people who've considered Kroger delivery and they might just need to understand that we have great sales. So continuing to test, that's what I'm excited about, just testing new technologies, testing new partners. Recently had a partnership with Allegiant. We've been partnering with our internal sister company, Home Chef. So continuing to partner and look for ways that we can really get the message out to more households.
Is Home Chef a meal?
Kroger,
meal
yes,
delivery?
meal plan delivery, and it's Kroger owned, and we've been doing some cross marketing to let customers know that they, in the markets where we're live, they can also get Kroger delivery.
Oh, that is really cool.
Yeah. So those exciting partnerships just keep us, wanting to test and evaluate the results and seeing what we can continue to do, seeing what we just need to stop doing, and things that we want to start doing. So
that. Yeah, there is there is so much going on there,
there's a lot going on.
So many products and so many needs, and but people who are always going to need to eat.
Yes, people always need groceries, so that's good. But I think you had asked this question; it was on the tip of my mind. But in thinking through next year, we're still in a phase of inflation. So we want to be cognizant of that, and we want to promote value to customers. And next year is going to be a very busy year in a lot of ways. It's a year where there's probably a lot of changes that will come. So, just being mindful of that and a marketing landscape. We can't think of marketing in a silo in a vacuum. There are things happening in the world.
Yep.
There are important issues needing to be resolved here and abroad. And so we want to stay mindful of that while also understanding that customers need, things like groceries. And so how do we stay conscious of those things while still providing what we need to provide to customers at great value. So
very, very exciting, and
2024 is going to be exciting.
It's going to be a wild one.
It's going to be a wild.
Certain about that. Yeah. Well, very lovely talking to you today.
I know. Great talking to you too, Kenley.
And all the best for 2024.
Thank you. It was great talking to you.
Great talking to you.